Hey y'all, good morning. I know it's been a few days. I've been so busy. I've been traveling so much. Oh my god, y'all, it's so early. I think it's like 4. No, I woke up at 4:45. It's 5:27. So yeah, it's early. Hopefully this is a start to me being back up on my early game, because I woke up naturally at like 4:40 something. So we'll see. So yeah, I've just been up doing a little bit, and then here we are looking for positivity on social media. So I actually saw this yesterday, and I kind of just saw the title and I was like, oh, I'm not even gonna look at this. I might save this for tomorrow. And I'm kind of glad I did, because when I got on social media this morning, most of my timeline was just the inauguration stuff, which is not saying that that's not positivity, but because it is, especially with us having, you know, the first Black woman vice president. But that's like what the majority of my timeline was till it got. So I was like, you know what, let me just go to that post I saw yesterday, I saw last night right before I fell asleep. But I only saw the title. And I saved it to my saves. Let me go find it. Oh yeah, here it goes. It was this Dame Dash, every Black person should be a business owner. I was like,
Calling somebody else a boss? Think your son enjoys you calling somebody else a boss? Don't you think your son would love if his name was up there? Dash, my pride is in my children. Hey, look what I'm doing right now. Look at my son. I told my son he's never gonna have a boss. He's 23. He owns a restaurant. He has cookies. He has equity. He busts his ass so he can pass it on to his son. If that's not what you're hustling for, you're selfish.
Man, listen, every Black person should learn how to be an owner before they learn how to be an employee. And any school that teaches a Black child how to sell their labor for separate but unequal income is graduating unsuspecting sheep to an unapologetic wolf. Some of y'all protect your 9-to-5 like the house slave protected old master. Black college graduates running around here holding up their college degree like it's a lottery ticket. Nothing wrong with it, I've got one. But studies show that a Black person's college degree is equivalent to a white person's high school diploma, which should get you paid if you're skilled. Every Black person can be an entrepreneur, even if you don't want to be a business owner. You can open an LLC right now and tell Sam, your uncle, to stop taxing your segregated paycheck that you work twice as hard to earn just by maximizing the tax code. You don't have to be a business mogul. There is a Black-owned small business owner right now who netted $100,000 in profit this year and is unquestionably satisfied. Your paycheck should always be your play money. Your 9-to-5 should always be your fifth stream of income, so that when Karen asks you how it felt like to grow up in the ghetto, you can ask her why she shows up to work smelling like mayonnaise. No disrespect to Karen, but we know that Keisha don't have the same verbal liberties in a workplace that requires integration. And if you don't want to start a business, you can own a piece of 505 businesses just by buying the S&P 500 ETF trust. You cannot have what you do not build. You cannot pass your job down to the next generation. This now generation of Black people must learn how to be owners, so that the next generation of Black people can know that ownership is a necessity and employment is the option. Be the hand, so that when you bite the hand, the village still gets fed.
Wow, that was a little intense. Don't get it twisted. I'm here for the intensity. Wow. Wow. Yeah. What do you guys think about that? I want to know you guys' comments in there. For me, looking at the positive, I love that it's promoting the positivity in Black people And I love that it is showcasing that we can have the same abilities just as everyone else. And as someone who is a business owner and who is an entrepreneur, I can totally relate to this, and that's why it resonates with me. It resonates with me because this is how I felt when I started my very first business. I was like, yeah, like no one will be able to ever take this from me. I remember, like, straight out of high school, I went to trade school. A lot of people don't know this, a little tidbit about me. I actually went to trade school and got my cosmetology degree before I went to four-year college, because I had been doing hair since I was like 11 years old. Like, started early doing all the little girls' hair in the neighborhood. And I was like, you know what? When you have a trade, because I feel like everybody in the world, but especially Americans, just because we're so entitled, should definitely go to trade school. You should have a trade, and that you should work in customer service. I feel like those are the two things that everybody should do. So for me, I went to trade school before I went to four-year college and got my bachelor's, because I wanted to have something that no one could take from me. That's the thing with having a trade. When you have a trade, no one can take that from you. That's knowledge that you have, that is a business that's the knowledge that you have of something that depending on what lane you're in, you specialize in that field. And at the end of the day, you're you. So like when I went to cosmetology school, and there it was everything. So it was esthetician, it was makeup, it was hair, it was skin, it was everything. Everything, a master cosmetologist. No one can take that from me. No one can take the skills that I already knew. No one can take the skills that I already know. No one cannot take that diploma from me. So it doesn't matter who I work for. They could fire me today, or I could wake up and the world could be like, oh, all businesses are closed down, you got to start your own. I can do that because I have a trade. I know something. I can give something to people that all people are gonna want. Because listen, you know how, especially us sisters, honey, if it's one thing that's gonna do, we're gonna get this hair done, honey. You know what I mean? So it's like, I totally, this resonates with me, especially because of the positivity towards Black people. But I kind of have to disagree just a little bit on the aspect of that every person should be a business owner, or that every person should own their own company or be a manager. Some people just aren't built that way. You know, like, part of being a good leader is knowing how to have been a good follower first. Everybody is not made to be a leader. You know, I feel like that's a trait more so than a right. You know what I mean? Like, everyone has the right to be a business owner. Everyone has the right to have equality in any aspect, whether it's business, finance, whatever, living in this country, the country that we live in, the land of the free. But I feel like being a business owner, being a boss, you know how we always like to say, oh, being a boss, like boss lady, being a boss, like being an owner of something, that's a trait. That's a trait that you have to have. And everyone doesn't have that trait, and there's nothing wrong with it. Some people are meant just to have a job. They're meant just to have a regular 9 to 5, because if you see on here it says should own a business even if you work a 9 to 5. But some people don't want that. Some people are okay in their life and perfectly happy with working their Monday through Friday 9 to 5 at their job, bringing in a check, getting their W-2, and just living their life. That their mindset is okay with that. Is it a little bit complacent? Yes. But if that's what that person is okay with, because they know that they just like can't They don't want to lead people, or they can't lead people. They don't want to be in charge, or they have a high anxiety when they're in charge. Or, you know, and then one could also say, oh, well, you can still own the business, but then just hire someone to run it or manage it for you. But that still goes with a lot of responsibility, because at the end of the day, you're still the top dog. You're still the person that's gonna take the fall for everything, as well as the credit for everything. Some people don't want that responsibility. So I love this. I love her intensity. I love Dame Dash's intensity. I'm a big fan of Dame Dash. I've been a fan of him for a long time. And his mindset around some things, not all things, but some things. But yeah, every Black person should own a business if that's what you want to do. Entrepreneurship is not for everybody. I literally saw a meme about a week and a half ago, and it said, if 2020 didn't bring the hustle out of you, then it's just not in you. If 2020, if 2020 didn't bring the hustle out of you, then it's just not in you. And you know what? That's perfectly okay. See you guys. Gotta get the day started.